This is LB Diver here with the Bottom Dwellers Dive Shack. I'm here at SHOT Show. What the hell am I doing here? Who knows? But all I know is I got my tactical gear on, I got my tactical pants, tactical boots, tactical belt, even got the camo long sleeves, so I fit in perfectly here at SHOT Show in Las Vegas. So if you have a chance to get down to SHOT Show next year, it's an amazing show, but you have to be an insider, like the Dive Shack, right? Anyways, enjoy the footage that we got of the 2023 SHOT Show here in Las Vegas.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the videoray booth. This year at SHOT Show rather than where we saw you guys last year at DEMA. This year we're showcasing some of the more weapon type effectors that we put onto the vehicles to help out law enforcement, military and security forces. So the two systems we're featuring here this year is the Titan. Titan is basically an underwater shotgun. It attaches to the vehicle. Has a waterproof breech. So your standard shotgun shell goes into the barrel, and then you hook up an electric firing system. Put the barrel back together and mount it on the vehicle. Then as soon as the vehicle goes in the water, the barrel will flood. That's actually your energetic propellant. So once you actually come up to the target and fire it, you're firing out a slug of water, and the slug of water is normally enough to completely disrupt the internal contents of the improvised explosive device. When we go for more deeper and more permanent sea mine type targets, we have this tool here. This is the ECS Viper from ECS Special Projects in the UK. It's basically a shape charge, which is hand-filled by the operator, and then a nail gun to attach it to the target. So once the charge has been filled, you place it back in the holder, and at this stage you'd put your initiator, so a detonator or a no-nail shock cord, into the back of the unit here, and then into the acoustic firing device. This is actually a nail gun, so once the nail gun has been armed, you remove the safety and it gets placed into the manipulator on the vehicle. The vehicle will then drive down to the target using the sonar, and then for close-up you use the camera. And as you get close, you drive into the target and it'll depress that knob, which will fire the nail into the target, at which stage you open the manipulator and let this go. This all stays with your underwater target, and then once the vehicle is retired to a safe distance, you push the button and it all goes bang. So these are really just add-on capabilities to our standard Defender and Pro 5 systems. You'll see here that the Defender is fitted with our mission skid. This allows third parties to integrate other systems onto the basic Defender vehicle without actually affecting the hydrodynamics or the power of the vehicle. It attaches very quickly with these 4 turnbuckles. So it's very easy to reconfigure the vehicle in the field if you need to change the effector that you're actually operating against the target as things change. So thanks for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and keep watching out for all the good stuff that's coming from videoray in the future.
LV diver here at our favorite booth, the Spyderco booth. I'm here with Mike, and Mike's going to tell us a little bit about these knives. So let me get out of the way, and let's let Mike give you the skinny on these beautiful knives.
Okay, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the latest developments in Spyderco's Salt series. So the Salt series of Spyderco started with H1. So H1 is kind of a remarkable steel. It's an austenitic steel, so it doesn't go through the traditional heat treating process that you'll find with traditional martensitic steels. But its real claim to fame is it's ultra corrosion resistant. And it's been basically the centerpiece of our Salt series since its original introduction, mid-2000s. Well, because of the pandemic did a lot of things to kind of change things in this world. As far as the Japanese steel industry is concerned, because there were fewer cars being made, because of other changes that were affected by the pandemic, H1 could not be produced anymore. The original manufacturers of that steel couldn't make it. So we partnered with our Japanese manufacturing resource, and we found a foundry who could make a very similar steel, and that is H2. So H2, the formulation is very, very similar to H1. They fine-tuned some of the alloy composition in it a little bit, so it actually makes it a little bit more saltwater corrosion resistant, and basically retains all the original properties of H1, fine-tunes them to make them even a little bit better. So what you're seeing with our core Salt line is that all of the knives that used to be made at H1 are now transitioning to H2. That's happening on a SKU by SKU basis. So as an individual model, as we exhaust the old inventory, we're transitioning it right over to the new inventory. And what you'll see is that transition to the H2 markings instead. Again, has all the same qualities, features, and benefits of the original H1, but now in H2 steel. One of the other things we're doing, or we have been doing, when you look at the performance of H1 and H2, plain edge knives in this particular steel, although they're ultra corrosion resistant, they don't hold an edge as well. So for folks who are fans of plain edge knives, one of the things we introduced a number of years ago was LC200N. So LC200N is a martensitic steel, which means it goes through the traditional hardening and tempering heat-based heat treating processes. And what that means is it's still ultra corrosion resistant, very high corrosion resistance, but it has a higher Rockwell hardness and therefore holds an edge even better. One of the other things about LC200N is we can do this in a full flat grind. H1 is very temperamental. It has to be hollow ground and really can't be flat ground in production. Whereas the LC200N, you can flat grind that, and that just gives you a sleeker edge geometry. So it's going to slice even better, allows you to cut with less resistance. And what you'll find is the LC200N knives, especially in our lightweight series, what we've done is started standardizing these in this green color. So you have a high visibility green. What you'll see in the H1 and H2 is the traditional yellow and black. We'll maintain those colors for those steels. For the LC200N, we're switching to the bright green. You'll see the LC200N is available both plain edge and serrated. So if you prefer the serrated edge, we also offer that. So now what you have is the combination of the serrations and the full flat grind, again for low friction edge geometry. And again, what you'll see is that carried through into our other knives. So in this case, what we have, this originally had a yellow handle. So this is the UK pen knife. This was our first Salt knife that was a non-locking folder. So if you live in a country or live someplace where a lock blade folding knife is not permissible, this is like a traditional pocket knife. It's what we call a slip-it, in the sense of it has Spyderco's trademark round hole for one-hand opening, has a clip so it's easily carried on your pocket, but instead of a lock mechanism, it just has a strong spring and a U-joint that helps keep it open in the open position. So this was originally the UK penknife Salt was offered with a yellow handle. We've standardized this with the green handle color. Following that same vein, we had our Native 5 lightweight, originally introduced in LC200N with a yellow handle. This now has been transitioned to the green handle as well. This one is available also plain edge or fully serrated. And the most exciting thing we've got is actually a third steel that we've introduced. Now, Magna Cut is a steel that was developed by Dr. Laren Thomas, and it is a kind of an extraordinary steel. In most cases, people really like D2 tool steel, and it was always right at that threshold of kind of being stainless, but not quite. Had really good edge retention, had really good toughness, good performance qualities, but it really was not corrosion resistant. Most people try adding chromium to that to try to make it more corrosion resistant. What Laren did was he actually reduced the chromium, added other elements to it, and he really created kind of a new steel that has some extraordinary properties as far as edge retention and toughness, and it also, in our testing, performs basically on par with LC200N as far as corrosion resistance. So once we started working with this steel, experimenting with this steel, and doing our own in-house testing, we felt that it was worthy of inclusion in our salt line. So this is actually going to be our first production knife. We did a mule team blade in MagnaCut, but this is going to be our first production knife to be released in MagnaCut. So what we're doing now is standardizing in our salt series, especially as far as our US-made product. The yellow handle will signify MagnaCut, the green handle will signify LC200N. So we're trying to kind of standardize our color combinations, and again, in the grand scheme of things, now we have the choice of H2, LC200N, and MagnaCut, 3 different steels offered in the Spyderco Salt series.
So I had to stop in at the Broco booth, given there's not a lot of underwater stuff, but they've got a bunch of other cool stuff here that we're going to be talking about. And Tom's going to kind of guide us through the other stuff that Broco does. It's not just burning sheet pile. These guys are doing all kinds of other stuff, like burning doors, right? A lot of breaching stuff. Well, mind sharing a little bit?
Sure. Well, Armando, Broco started as a torch company. We've evolved a lot of that cutting to be for other markets. I mean, heavy equipment repair and maintenance, and for tactical inside the house, we do breaching thermal systems, also fire rescue. So here at SHOT, we're showing our tools. We're also showing some of the newer torch sets. The one I'm standing in front of right now is something we're in the process of configuring for urban search and rescue, heavy rescue applications. We've got 120 cubic feet of oxygen in this box, along with the affiliated torch stuff. So, it's there for sustained, rescue cutting applications. We've also got a new face shield that we've been working on again for law enforcement and military breaching. With the, we've got the Shade 5 lens, the protection for the slag, protection on the top as well for slag so they coming back. And what's unique about ours is that it does allow for the changeover, thank you, changeover of the exterior lens and replacement with clean ones when it starts getting slagged up. So again, something to make it long-term, safer, better for the operator.
So this is something we can also use when we're training topside, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is, it's intended for use topside. This is really, though, for environments where the operators have to wear some kind of respiratory protection, or just if they're running with a helmet and they don't want to deal with trying to juggle goggles and the helmet. This being rail mounted allows a little flip up, so they've got the cutting protection as well as some face protection.
It's pretty cool.
During breaching. We have our smaller system. This is our mini torch. And this has a 15 cubic foot oxygen model, good for about 1.5 to 2 minutes of actual burn time. And the handpiece, this is a little special one that we did that has an integrated quick connect. We do the quick connect, so it'll attach to the end of the cutting rod, snap in, and be able to remove. Now this rod is our Easy Light cutting rod. And the Easy Light rod being lit by a 9-volt battery, just held in a small battery holder. So oxygen passes through the rod, touch the battery to it. This will ignite. It takes a couple seconds, gets to this point, you go 100%, and now you've got a full minute and a half of burn time. You can do anywhere from 16 to 20 inches of cut in 1-inch thick steel.
That's really cool, because sometimes we get into some hard to reach places where it's just cumbersome to take the whole Broco rig out and just do a quick little cut. We can use this, right?
Oh, absolutely. And something else I should mention, especially for you, this works really well underwater. I mean, you can light the rod with a 9-volt battery in water.
I got to do some more research on that. I mean, you've done the research. I mean, to see how I can use
trials
it.
with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love to see this in your hands.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and then, we do more conventional manual tools. We've got our rounds. We do some saw kits. It's a modified DeWalt setup. We build the 7-inch guard. We do the handle yoke to relocate the hand away from the blade. And then it's Broco's 7-inch diamond blade. Turns that grinder into a breaching tool.
That's nice. I like that. You can breach some car doors with that, too. You can breach anything. That
Vehicle
diamond blade.
rescue. Absolutely.
Nice. So our friends at JW Fishers, they got a booth set up here at SHOT Show, because you never know, You never know when a lot of these law enforcement guys are going to need some sonars and stuff. Pretty darn cool. All the same stuff at SHOT Show, but I always love their setup in their booths. I mean, they do a really good job. And there goes the trusty old Sea Lion. Pretty neat. It's one of their newer models. I really want one of those. Pretty cool. There's all kinds of robots on this aisle. Like drones. So, hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. You putting your head in a bazooka? Is that what? Is that what you're doing?
I was just trying to figure out what it was. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, good seeing you again.
Yeah,
here.
good seeing you too.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, right on. Thank you, Brian. Check out these cool drones. Look at this little robot. All right, we're here at the Blue Water Ropes booth, and I was walking by, and the thing that caught my attention was the rigging, because us divers, we love rigging. We're rigging nerds, and specifically, I was brought by this sling here behind me. So we're going to talk a little bit about this sling.
Okay, my name's Scott Newell with Blue Water Ropes in Carrollton, Georgia. We call this a rhino anchor sling. It's a webbing within a webbing, so the interior webbing is an orange color. It holds most of the load so that the exterior webbing acts as a built-in abrasion and cut resistant type surface. The vertical loop strength is 11,000 pounds. The overlap is sewn with Dyneema thread so that the overlap is extremely short. Regular, normal overlap is this length. So this is really compact, easy to fold into a small package.
Don't you hate when you try to rig something and then you're rigging with the overlap? First of all, it's a no-no. You know the struggle. You guys know the struggle. A short overlap like this, it's amazing. It makes it so much easier to work with. I really love this thing. Are you the only guys that are doing this?
Yes. It's all done in-house with our equipment there in Georgia.
This is your own proprietary thread, you're saying, too?
Yes, we manufacture the thread in-house.
That's amazing. 15,000 pounds for this little guy. That's so cool. What's some other products you have?
Some of the other ones would be our Armortech series of rope. It has it's a rope within a rope. so that the exterior is Technora aramid fiber, extremely cut resistant, heat resistant. Interior rope is 5,000 pound rated to meet OSHA standards. These are used in any place that there's sharp edges, or it's good for heat resistant type stuff, for hot ropes, hot pipes, fast propels, things like that, because the sheath won't melt.
And then you said that you have a way to put anchors into them as well?
Yes, we can sew sewn loops.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. To the customer specifications, with stainless thimbles, galvanized thimbles, nylon thimbles, and as well as any type of hardware that people might need sewn into a loop. And this again is sewn with our in-house. This is Technora thread. We do it all in-house.
This is really cool. Like I said, I'm super stoked on this. As soon as I get back to the office, I'm gonna try to get some of these, because we would use the heck out of these slings, these little short slings, multiple uses, multiple ways to rig. Where can we find that product? Like, do we have to go through a distributor?
It would depend. You could call us to find for your area, and basically if it's recreational or what the end user is. But you could call us at the factory there in Georgia, and we can work from there.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for sharing some of your products. It's been great. And check out the rest of the videos that we got for you.
Okay. All right.
So, hope you enjoyed our coverage of SHOT Show. We had a blast covering the event. We got to see some friends and make new ones, and it was definitely a blast. Had a ton of fun, and make sure you like and follow our podcast, The Bottom Dwellers Dive Shack, Bottom Dwellers Beer Club. Both are found on all major podcast platforms. Check out our YouTube page. We got a bunch of content, and you guys, we'll see you on the next episode of The Bottom Dwellers Dive Shack.